This is the VO Life. Positive conversations about living the voiceover life. Insight into the business and day-to-day grind of being a regular Joe VO. From the humble beginnings to the finally hitting a new level to getting that first big client. It's all about that VO life. Here's your host, Troy Holden.
Hey, welcome back to the VO Life. I'm Troy Holden, your blue-collar voice of choice. And that still stands even after reading about dinosaurs today. I made it through that one. Those of you that saw the post know what I'm talking about. And, I'm hooked on phonics for sure. Spelling those things out phonetically really made it go pretty well. It took longer to look everything up and put it in there than it did to read the 3,000 words. But today, let's talk about you guys and the latest mock audition. And it was a barrel of fun. I'm going to tell you the quality in what came in this time was even maybe just a little better based on the volume than last time. I don't think we had as many audio issues. Had a couple. I had some people send me files in stereo. I don't know how they pull that off. I don't know if they just multi-tracked them and saved them that way. And I had MP4s. I just had some things that were different, but a good turnout, and I really enjoyed listening to them. It was a little easier process for me this time. I kind of had streamlined a little from last time, and it went better for me, and I was able to more quickly get through them. But thank you to everyone who sent those in. Thanks for stepping out and taking a chance to be heard. I mean, that's what you got to do in voiceover. You've got to, finally put on your big boy pants and just get out there and do it. I also want to talk real quickly before we get into listening to the front end of several of the auditions, and I may have got them all in there. I'm not positive. I think I did. And let me again say, this was a job that I won, and it was based in Southern Alabama, and I didn't put that in the specs because I didn't want people trying to sound like that. I didn't want it to sound that way. But I'm also going to play you after we listen to the winners. I'm going to play you a compilation I made of my read with pieces from their reads, the top two. And a winner was Alden Schoenberg, and Alden's just he's got a fantastic, friendly voice. And like me, he tends to get, we call it salesy or announcery, but he is really learning to dial it back and make it more personable. And he's getting coached to do that, and it's working. I've heard some recent reads, and they're fantastic. And this one was not, this was one of those, it could be maybe just a teeny, tiny salesy. And also want to congratulate Jacob Sanders, who had a fantastic read as well. He just had a great read. It was a little young in a way for what I probably would have booked if I were booking this spot, but I felt like Alden hit the thing of the middle-aged people and the older people would have related to the way he read. Now, there were some things I would have done differently if I'd have said, you're coming back, you got the spot, but I can't use your audition because there's 3 little things I want you to fix. And it wasn't that much, and it wasn't that major. One of the things we paid close attention to was the pronunciation of that word we all hate to say, and that's rural. It's a very hard word to say. I booked a job with that, and it was another word in the same thing, in the same sentence. It was a one-sentence booking, but that word was in there, and I always felt like I was chewing it. It was hanging somewhere. It was hard to get it out. It's just a tough word. Rural, regularly. Jenna Birmingham mentioned community. I have really had to work hard to say community and not community. It's very easy as a Southerner to change all the T's to D's. I have to watch that. And those are the small things that give me away. You guys know I am what I am. But if I'm not doing those things and not doing don't say get instead of, get, and I do say get and not get, and set and not say it, things like that. So, in natural conversation, I do it. On this podcast, I probably sometimes do it. But I try every day when I audition to eliminate something or fix it or make it better. And over time, it may take me another year. I think I will be less. You're going to know I'm not Midwestern or I'm not neutral, but you're also not going to be sure how Southern am I. And that's my goal. I want you to hear there's Southern in there, and they're in that a little Southern accent, and that's what I want instead of a lot. But it's going to take time. It takes a lot of time and practice, and I'll get there. But congrats to the 2 finalists. Congrats to everyone that put themselves out there and got in. Now, before we go any further, let's listen to the front end so we can once again hear what a casting director hears over and over and over. And if any of these sound very different to you, and you're going to hear this time because you guys paid attention to what we said in the last one. A lot of these intros are varied a little more. Let's take a listen.
Your zip code shouldn't dictate how long or well you live.
Your zip code shouldn't dictate how long or how well you live.
Your zip code shouldn't dictate how long or how well you live.
Your zip code shouldn't dictate how long or how well you live.
Your zip code shouldn't dictate how long or how well you live.
Your zip code shouldn't dictate how long or how well you live.
Your zip code shouldn't dictate how long or how well you live.
Your zip code shouldn't dictate how long or how well you live.
Your zip code shouldn't dictate how long or how well you live.
Your zip code shouldn't dictate how long or how well you live.
Your zip code shouldn't dictate how long or how well you live.
Your zip code shouldn't dictate how long or how well you live.
Your zip code shouldn't dictate how long or how well you live.
Your zip code shouldn't dictate how long or how well you live.
Your zip code shouldn't dictate how long or how well you live.
Your zip code shouldn't dictate how long or how well you live.
Your zip code shouldn't dictate how long or how well you live. All right, well, there were all those intros, and so could you tell a little difference? I could. Yes, there are a lot that are similar, but I think people consciously tried to do something a little different. Some people did, and they were really good. I'm going to tell you a couple of the British voices, and one was trying to not be British, and she did a pretty good job on it, but she was in and out a little bit, and that's what's hard when you don't just use your natural accent. But there were just some great reads. I really enjoyed it this time, and I really appreciate everybody jumping in. And this is going to be a short one. I'm not going to drag it on, but I wanted everybody to get to hear everything. And now we're going to play back-to-back. You're going to hear Alden and his winning read. And when you hear his last word, you're going to go, what was that? That's what I did. Even Alden said he knew when he sent it, it was probably not. He probably should have went back and taken the his first take or whatever and swapped them out. But that won't kill a read, not normally. If I've listened that far and you like what you've heard to the end's not going to kill it. It was just a little different. I'm not saying somebody might go, well, there's nothing wrong with that. Well, that's okay, but it caught my ear, and I was like, that doesn't sound right. Why did he do that? Poor Alden. I've picked on him about this for 2 days. And then right after that, you're going to hear Jacob. And Jacob with that just wonderful, wonderful sound. And he had recently been posting. He was worried about his sound and his mic. He's using a USB mic, but I tell you, it sounded pretty darn good. I was impressed with it. I mean, room noise was nil. It was a really good read and really good sound. And that is very important. And I'll tell you first and foremost, if your sound is not there, if you're that one where I have to turn it up to crank it up to hear it, you don't have the decibel level right, and then I'm hearing hiss or noise or hums or something that you could have got with a low pass filter, I'm going to pass. I don't care how good the read is because I can't use your audio. And believe me, that happens every day. Every day that happens many, many times. So get your audio right, get your space right, get all that right, and then you're ready to go. All right, so let's take a listen to Alden first, and then Jacob, and then you'll get to hear the compilation that I put together of all three of us with my winning read done purposefully in that deeper, older voice because they were actually looking for a senior citizen for that spot. And I think it said 60 or older. And I said, well, I'll be 60 this year, so I can do that. which I can do that. And so I put it all together, and I really liked it. I slapped it together. I didn't really pick and choose. I just said, all right, you go first, then you go, then I'll go, then you go, and I didn't really lay that out to where it would work out the best, but I was really impressed with it. I liked it, and I wouldn't doubt you'll hear one of the three of us, if not all three of us, using it for a sample at some point, because it's very common that you're on commercial reads. It's very common to be on with other people, and everything that I have done so far, booked through an agent, has always been multiple people on the spot. I usually had one sentence or a few words, and it was mixed in with other people. So that happens a lot. You get a lot of auditions that way. It'll tell you what the other people are saying, and then you read your part, and it happens quite a bit. So let's take a listen to those two, and then the compilation, and then we'll see you next time.
Your zip code shouldn't dictate how long or how well you live. But in America's rural heartland, where 1 in 5 Americans live, we see it every day. In these areas, many people don't have access to nutritious foods, a local hospital, or even a usual primary care physician. It doesn't have to be this way. Together, we can ensure every American, no matter where they live, has equal access to breakthrough treatments, education to prevent cardiovascular disease, and more. Make a gift to the American Heart Association today, while it'll be matched up to $50,000 to help fund even more life-saving breakthroughs in the months and years to come.
Your zip code shouldn't dictate how long or how well you live. But in America's rural heartland, where 1 in 5 Americans live, we see it every day. In these areas, many people don't have access to nutritious foods, a local hospital, or even a usual primary care physician. It doesn't have to be this way. Together, we can ensure every American, no matter where they live, has equal access to breakthrough treatments, education to prevent cardiovascular disease, and more. Make a gift to the American Heart Association today, while it'll be matched up to $50,000 to help fund even more life-saving breakthroughs in the months and years to come.
Your zip code shouldn't dictate how long or how well you live.
But in America's rural heartland, where 1 in 5 Americans live,
we see it every day. In these areas, many people don't have access to nutritious foods, a local hospital, or even usual primary care physicians.
It doesn't have to be this way. Together, we can ensure every American, no matter where they live,
has equal access to breakthrough treatments, education to prevent cardiovascular disease, and more.
Make a gift to the American Heart Association today, while it would be matched up to $50,000 to help fund even more life-saving breakthroughs in the months and years to come.
This has been The VO Life with Troy Holden. If you'd like to consult with Troy one-on-one, visit his website and schedule time at troyholdenvoices.com. Join the VO Live Facebook page and interact with other new voice talent. Join the VO workouts or the midweek meetup on the VO Live page events. And be sure and leave a review on Apple and let us know what you'd like us to cover on the podcast. You can also get all of the episodes on Troy's YouTube page. Just search for Troy Holden Voices. That boy is everywhere. TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn. Next thing you know, he'll have a streaming TV show. God forbid. And I will.